The New York Jets get absolutely embarrassed in their week 2 matchup versus the Buffalo Bills by a score of 30-10. We'll get into the ugly, the uglier, and the ugliest. But before we get into that, welcome back to everybody to the Turn Up the Jets YouTube channel. As always, Joe Skirtle, your host. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Appreciate all the support. Like the video if you've actually liked it. You could also follow me on X and on Instagram on those social media platforms at Turn Up the Jets, all one word. It was a long Sunday for the New York Jets as they head to Tampa with an 0-2 record, going down 30-10 against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, who just looked like a completely different team to a Jets team. I mean, this is the Bills team that's won the division 7 out of the last 8 years. They have won the turnover battle in 24 straight games, and the Jets aren't even close to being a team looking like the Bills. I know it's unfair. The Bills have had really their whole regime for the last 8 years. The Jets have a brand new one, but it's an embarrassment. It was a terrible game out there. It gave you flashbacks over the last couple of seasons where you felt like the Jets played really well last week. Call it a moral victory, call it what you will, but the Jets played really well. Other than not winning the game, it gave you confidence into week 2. Maybe this team was different. The film looked good. Romo was really raving about the Jets pregame, and then they just lay an egg like they normally do. It didn't look like they were prepared. Just an undisciplined performance, terrible bonehead penalties, turnovers, and it just looked like they had no energy from the very start of this game. You go 3 and out, and then you kick it off. Josh Allen has a 40-plus scramble run on third down. You stop him. Michael Clemens, who I don't even know how he's on the roster, makes a bonehead roughing the passer, gives them 15 more yards, extends the drive, ultimately leads to a James Cook touchdown, and the game was over after that, folks. The game was totally over after that. It was just a long day. You have those feelings after decades of cheering for this team. When it's going to be a long day, and it just felt like that. Fields fumble, and really the rest was history. They were really never in this game. Even at the second quarter, it was 20-3. Fields had a 27-yard rush, and you felt like if you could put some points on the board, maybe you get some energy coming out in the second half, because it's not like Josh Allen dominated this game with his arm. The Jets made bonehead penalties, and James Cook eventually just ran all over them. That's how the Bills win this football game. But then you overthrow Isaiah Davis, you overthrow Mason Taylor with Fields, and then that third down play wasn't even close. Just 3 bad, horrendous throws in a row. At the end of the second quarter, you have to punt. And then, sadly, Fields suffers his concussion in the fourth quarter with about 12 minutes left, and Tyrod Taylor goes down and scores with the touchdown pass to Jeremy Ruckert. It didn't matter, but it's frustrating. Fields probably, I don't know if he'll play, to be honest with you. His status is definitely up in the air. He's going through the concussion protocol, and the Jets are ultimately preparing for Tyrod Taylor to be the starting quarterback against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to try to avoid a 0-3 start, because 0-3, it's like the season's almost ending before it's starting. And that's why the last week was so crucial to win the game, and it was so unfortunate that it didn't, despite looking good. But this was same old territory written all over it. They were unprepared, undisciplined. It was just an awful game to watch. Plain and simple. It's one of those games at the end of the third quarter, I shut it off. I seen enough. You flick back and forth, but between Clemens and Tony Adams, I mean, it's the same suspects. That's what's annoying. It's literally the same suspects that make these bonehead penalties. And Brandon Stevens, my goodness, what were we looking at with Darren Muji signing him for 3 years over $30 million? What the hell were we seeing on tape to say, hey, you know what? You lose DJ Reed, who was a really good number 2. And I thought DJ Reed struggled last year. I really did. He had a down season. So did everyone else. But how do you go from him to Brandon Stevens and feel confident? I mean, we're going to have to see AZ Thomas sooner rather than later. Look at that James Cook play. It looked like he wasn't even trying. He checked out. It was the second quarter of the game. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's the same old shit. And I'm not going to sit here and say, Aaron Glenn isn't going to be a good head coach. I'm confident still. And I said it week 1 in my video. If the Jets go out and lose 30-6, I still think Aaron Glenn has a clue. Guess what? I kind of manifested it. It was 30-10. I still think he has a clue. I think people are really ragging on him for no reason with the press conference. What else do you want him to say? They lost 30-10. I mean, yes, it's not going to be a sure thing right away, and people shouldn't expect it. Like, did we really expect to go into Buffalo or go into week 2 and beat the Bills? I mean, I know you could say that they've competed well in MetLife and whatever, but the Buffalo Bills are one of the best teams in the league. The Jets aren't close to that yet. And then you see the Steelers. Steelers looked terrible too. Bonehead mistakes. They lose 31-17 against another familiar face. And Sam Darnold, they had Sanchez on the call with Darnold versus Aaron Rodgers. That was pretty comical. But like, I get the frustration. I'm pissed off. I wanted a better outcome there. If they lost 30-17 and, you know, you kind of had some positivity gain out of it, great. But like, I'm not going to knock Aaron Glenn because of his press conference saying that like it's not going to happen right away, because he's right. It's not. The Jets are not a good football team right now. When you match them up against the Buffalo Bills, it looks like a team who's won the division 7 out of the last 8 years versus the team who has made the playoffs in 15 years. It's just clear. So, yes, the Jets were unprepared. You got to put blame on Glenn, and I'm saying you do, but I'm not going to just tweet out and be pissed off at Aaron Glenn. I mean, they're 0-2. It is what it is. And he's already playing with fire to begin with. Last week, it could have very likely been a fluke, but I still have faith on him being a good coach for this football team. Was he good yesterday? No. I mean, it doesn't help when your quarterback completes 3 passes and 11 attempts for 27 yards with the fumble. He was absolutely awful. It took him forever to go through his reads, and there was clearly guys open, but when they were able, and then at times there were guys open, and then they couldn't scheme guys open. It was just a bad performance overall. It wasn't the same offense. Breece Hall had no holes to run through, and they couldn't even get him going because they were down so quickly over the boneheaded plays. So a disappointing Sunday. Let's go into the box score, I guess. I mean, there's really nothing to really go over. Like there was really no positivity to gain out of this game. 25-11 first downs. Total play 71-47. The Bills nearly have almost 300 more yards in only one more drive, 5.7 yards per play, 3.3 for the Jets. The Jets had 54 passing yards. A joke. They still eclipsed 100 rushing yards, but nothing to write home about. The Bills ran all over them, 43 attempts for 224 yards. James Cook had 132 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 21 carries. He really made it known why he got his money and why he wanted it. Red zone, the Bills 50%, 2 for 4. The Jets were in the red zone once, and basically a useless touchdown to Jeremy Ruckert at the end. Penalties. Look at the Bills, 6 for 69. The Jets 5 for 35, but the Jets penalties were more crucial. Back-to-back third down stops. You got the bonehead play, and bonehead is the definition or the word of the day. I mean, Michael Clemens, just an awful play there. Like it was 3rd and 19. Allen maybe threw the ball 5 yards down the field. Carter makes a good play, and boom, 15 yards. And Tony Adams holds Kincaid right off the line of scrimmage. He had no shot of the play. So just 2 terrible penalties. It seemed like every time the Jets got to stop at third down, you had to pause and wait to see if there was a flag, because that's literally how it felt. 1 turnover again for the Jets, 0 for the Bills. This defense literally can't create turnovers, and the Bills' time of possession absolutely dominates. 38.21 to 21.39. So almost about 18 more minutes than the Jets. So just a bad performance overall. You look at the player statistics. Look at Josh Allen, 14 for 25, 148 yards, no touchdowns in the game. You thinking, if you told me on Friday, Josh Allen is going to have 148 yards with no total touchdowns, what would the score be? It wouldn't have been 30-10, but I also didn't think the quarterback would go 3 for 11 with 27 yards. Look at Tyrod Taylor goes in for 1 quarter, the last 12 minutes left, 7 for 11, 56 yards and a touchdown. I mean, Fields just had a bad day. Like I said, he couldn't get through his reads, and he held the ball too long, took some stupid sacks. It just was a bad day. A lot of overthrown balls. I mean, right off the bat, the first drive on third down, Garrett Wilson was like wide open down the middle of the field. Probably could have been a 25, 30-yard gain on third down. Throws it over his head and nearly gets picked off. It wasn't even close. Fields was the leading rusher, 5 for 49. Hall didn't really have any room against the Bills defense that was missing Ed Oliver, their best defensive tackle, and their defense was banged up. And, you're thinking with the Ravens last week, granted it was Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, but look what Derrick Henry did. He struggled against Cleveland, but you're going in like, hey, we had almost 200 rushing yards against the Steelers front, and they're vastly better than Buffalo. Let's ground and pound. They couldn't get anything going. The Jets' offensive line struggled against a defensive line who I really didn't think had a shot in this game, and they certainly looked great. So shout out to the Bills, but 10 carries, 29 yards, nothing from Breece there. Garrett Wilson was the leading receiver with 4 catches, 50 yards. As I mentioned, the only touchdown was the 5-yard touchdown by Jeremy Ruckert. The defense, again, nothing to write home about, man. Like, really nothing to write home about. Like, this defense is not good right now. It's frustrating because they have good players, and like you hold Josh Allen to 100 and whatever yards, but it doesn't matter if you're still going to let them score because you can't get off the field on third down. It's simple. I mean, Buffalo ran for over 200 yards. They didn't need Josh Allen to do anything. The run defense was garbage, and it was garbage last year. And, last week you felt good about it because you're thinking Harrison Phillips, comes over from Minnesota. You have Quinnen, you have the 2 good edge rushers with McDonald and Jermaine Johnson. And it didn't look like anything changed. Injuries coming on. Jermaine Johnson hurt his ankle. It was a scary injury, but it doesn't look like it's going to be serious, according to his Twitter today. So hopefully he can play against Tampa. Mentioned already, Justin Fields concussion protocol. He does have a concussion. His status is unknown for Tampa Bay. I won't be surprised if he's not in there and Tyrod Taylor's the starter. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Tampa Bay plays Houston, so they will be on a short week as they play Houston today on Monday Night Football. But just a bad day. It's a bad day for the Jets. They're 0-2 again. It seems like it's you're a couple losses away from just checking out again. That's what's frustrating. You're so excited for the season to start, and then it ends immediately. And like by October, the season's over. And that's what's frustrating. Like, just play meaningful football. I'm not going to sit here and expect that they beat the Bills. I'm not. And like, they lost to one of the best teams in the NFL. Is it frustrating? Yes. But I can't jump on the coach yet. It's literally week 2. I don't care what he says after the post game. It has nothing to do with that. Did he game plan well to this week? No. He flat out got out coached by a better head coach. Sean McDermott has been around. I've already told you the success he's had with Buffalo. He purely outcoached him. It happens. So let's relax on the Aaron Glenn slander after 2 weeks. I mean, did we really think the Jets' talent matched up with the Bills? Yes, you want to have a good team, but right now they're not a good team. And yes, coaching has to do with that, but let's pump the brakes a bit, man. We were celebrating a loss last week, and now the season's over and Aaron Glenn stinks. So I'm not going to overreact with that. Yes, he got outcoached. Yes, he had a bad day. He gets it. It's 30-10. It wasn't even close. They weren't prepared. You can go down the list. The quarterback stunk. The defense stunk. They were undisciplined. I probably said that 50 times already, but that's the name of the game. And Buffalo's just a better team. And it's particularly not close right now. It is what it is. So, and that's why you needed to win that game last week, which you unfortunately didn't. But I'm not going to sit here and slander Glenn yet. It's 2 games. Yeah, I mean, at least he's not standing like this the whole game, right? He got into Clemens' head, into his face, rather, after he made that stupid penalty roughing the passer on Allen, hitting him in the head. At least there's accountability. Hopefully that ends up, getting resulted into wins. But I don't know. I don't know with this team, man. It's like it's the same shit over and over again. I still think Aaron Glenn has a clue. And I always say that because I said last week after that game, it looked like he had a clue. Maybe a few things bounced their way. They want to know, but that's what it looked like. It looked like a different coach team. And even if they go in and lose 30-6 to Buffalo, that's exactly what I said. I'd still think the same, and I still do. Is it frustrating? Yes, it's frustrating because it almost gives you vibes to last year or, under the Saleh regime when they show you something and you kind of buy into it and then they fold and don't even look prepared to play a football game. And that's exactly what, that game was over before it started. Literally, after that first drive, I said it. It's going to be a long day, and it certainly was. But thank God that game's over with. The Jets go into Tampa, another tough matchup. Not really a lot of expectation there. Tampa's really, really good. Their defense somewhat underperformed last week, but they got weapons galore with Mike Evans and rookie Emeka Egbuka, Cade Otton, Bucky Irvin's really good. Godwin might be back next week along with Tristan Wirfs. I'm not sure. But those guys actually might be coming back. Go figure, right against the Jets. So it's going to be a tough game. A familiar face again in Todd Bowles. So that will be interesting. That's all I have to say about this game. There's really not much to talk about. Buffalo just clearly outplayed them. It wasn't even close. The Jets' offensive line wasn't nearly as good. Fields was terrible. The defense couldn't get off the field on third down. Yeah, I mean, that's really what it was. And Aaron Glenn got outcoached in every aspect of the game. So everyone, thank you for watching. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Like the video if you've actually liked it. You also follow me on other social media platforms such as on X and on Instagram. I'll be back on the road again with the Jets. I will be traveling to Tampa to go to that game. So I will get the the preview for the Bucs Jets prior to when I leave. So that video will probably be dropping out either Thursday or Friday. And then the recap most likely will be Tuesday because I'll be getting home Monday. And if anything else drastic happens before that, certainly we'll be making videos weekly, Jets content all season long. Let's just relax. Hopefully something better happens. I was a wreck yesterday. I get it. This sucks, but it's a long season, and I get, that doesn't really mean anything for us because we say it every year. But we'll see. Until next time.